Alrighty, folks, we are back. Back to bring you some more TTRPG goodness. I realize I've not done any Discord plugs. I'm going to quickly do those while you tell me who you are. So, starting let's start with Amy. Starting with Amy, who are you? What are you? And what's your favourite thing about the Willy Wonka experience?
Hello, I'm Amy. I play Ruth Yusuf, our very grumpy Dalish elf healer. My favorite thing about the Willy Wonka experience was that I saw it break when I got up for work in the morning and then, ha, that's hilarious. And then by the time I had gotten on my break, 4 hours later, it made it jump across to Philip DeFranco on YouTube, who I kind of watch regularly. So yeah, that amused the hell out of me. Just the speed that it just caught fire.
Alright. Eden?
Hello, I'm Eden. My character's Wraith, Tevinter mage, mortician, often a lawyer. And I like the part where they called the police. It must have gotten to a point where, having done lots of customer service jobs and face to face, I genuinely sympathise with all of the people that were there, being the face of the company, so to speak. And at the moment when it's like, "Fuck it, I'm calling the police," like, oh no, just the farce of that captures me. It's classic.
And Tom.
I like the bit where it was described as a meth lab. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm currently playing William Apal. He's still alive, remarkably. He's not a Grey Warden. He might never be a Grey Warden. It depends how long he lives, I suppose. But he's a town guard, not retired as such, but he's certainly no spring chicken.
Alright. Are you saying that 2 jelly beans and a quarter cup of lemonade is equivalent to a meth lab?
No, just the setup looked like a meth lab.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, well, what happened last time? I'm gonna mute my microphone on stream for a second because I need to shout at the cat. But yes, what happened last time?
I'm not sure what happened last night. Are we not sailing towards?
No, we sailed up the river and we found a couple. Oh, that was it. We left in a panic after my arm was chopped off and someone lost a leg. Or was it a foot?
It was you almost lost your hand, and
I definitely lost something.
yes,
I had to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah, and Ruth reattached it. Unfortunately, your hand the nerves don't quite work.
Oh,
So you have very limited mobility in your hand. And then I think Wraith lost an arm?
I got my leg chopped
Leg.
mid-stride, and then it kind of got reattached, and I think
Yes.
was kind of all right.
Yes, I rolled higher for healing you, so you got a better. You have more mobility. I think
More
you've
than
just
that.
got I think you've got a big limp though, or your stride's been compromised maybe somehow. I can't remember. There is a slight
Got a slightly
misalignment.
hobbled walk, I guess.
Yeah. But you're relatively intact.
Yeah.
I think we decided to sail up towards Antiva, I think,
maybe.
in search of leadership, because we didn't know there wasn't any point
Where
of
the
going
heck
back
we were
to there wasn't much point going back to Orlais, because we'd have to pass back the way through the Quinari, and we were like, no, let's not do that. So I think we were sailing towards Antiva, if I believe, right?
I believe so.
Oh no, Ruth hates Antiva. He hates
Any
one.
particular
Why
reason?
does Ruth hate
Because
Antiva?
because it's full of whores and assassins. It's like,
That's a
ah!
pretty
Your problem
reasonable
be?
reason.
He hates brothels. He doesn't like brothels.
Uh-huh.
Assassins try to kill you all the time.
What a bunch of jerks.
Alright,
It's a plutocracy. So
it is. Alright, well, we
What's
shall
that got to do
continue.
with being allowed to kill you anytime? What?
because it's ran by by 9 different assassin houses.
That's not a
And
plutocracy.
well, it has that, and it
Oligopoly.
has the merchant princes who run the monetary economy, and then they have the royal family as well, who don't really are kind of like a
They don't really
constitutional.
do anything.
Yeah, they don't. They have no power. They have no standing army. And the assassins are basically their army because they can attack anyone. And they have a guild that basically keeps a contract for however long the person or the bloodlines are alive to enact the contract. So,
Surely the point of a assassination is, you've extincted that bloodline.
yeah, so there's a quest in the last game where one of the characters is trying to revive their previously their family was had a merchant empire, and they were trying to revive it, and they found out that there was a hit on their family for doing that if they ever tried to do it again. That was something like 400 years old. And the guild was like, no, it's still valid. We're gonna
But
come and
they were
murder you.
extinct.
Yeah, even if the bloodline is extinct, so they had to track down. Yeah, there's an option to just murder the entire guild, or there's an option to track down the whole
First option.
yeah. Well, yeah, you'd think so. And there's a way to do it. Find a family that'll do this and do that and get it done without bloodshed.
Sounds like a recipe for some of the most confusing assassinations that could be
Yeah,
possible. Where,
yeah.
300 years after the fact, an illegitimate bastard just get somebody on his doorstep. You need to die for this reason.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Who?
So that's
I don't know who you are or what you're talking about.
No parle español!
pretty much. Well, they warn them. The first instance is if they're unaware of the contract, they warn them first. So the first instance, the character gets warned about it, and she's just like, "What?"
Oh, well, that's alright then.
Yeah. So they at least warn you before they murder you. It's the polite thing to do, apparently. And Tevens are funny.
They prefer the challenge of warning you first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it
yeah.
wouldn't be as fun. Anyway, we shall continue on. It's got very dark in here all of a sudden. So yes, you carry on. You sailed past Kirkwall last week, and you carried on along the river along to the edge of the continent, basically. You brought me a hairband, have you? That's good. So you get to you pass a couple more settlements, and again, all of these seem to be what you described as there doesn't seem to be a single non-Kunari soul in any of the sort of places you sort of drift past. And as you follow sorry, I'm just distracted by the cat. And as you continue along, eventually up ahead you see 3 very large Kunari ships blocking the rest of the sort of outside of one of the cities. What do you do?
Oh, come on.
Ruth is so concerned seeing all this Quinari about it. He's like, what the hell? The Quinari coming down this far is quite significant. Are they actually invading? Shit. Because it feels like they're invading.
Yeah, if they've come this far south and they're taking and holding places, then yeah, 100%. Would be, I mean, where these boats are docked outside of this, is it a city, village?
So you're basically on the edge of the sea at the moment, and on the coast you're going around. It looks like they're pretty big ships, from what you can see, and there's about 3 or 4 of them sort of like almost horseshoed around this one dock.
Okay.
Wouldn't like to be
Not
them.
Mm. Not gonna lie, bombing it and then running away. No, let's not do that.
How wide is the waterway? Like, would we be able to slip past them potentially without being seen, or would we
As I
definitely
said,
be seen?
you're at the edge of the sea, so you could probably move out to sea and go around it.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
How are the elves that we picked up? Did we get any more information out of them?
You've not really asked them anything. They've been basically, whenever they sort of look out and see Canary, they immediately duck back inside.
Okay. So
all the time is what you're saying. They're ducking back inside.
Mm-hmm.
Ruth's gonna ask, gonna talk to them a bit. So, were you slaves? Converts that decided that you
I can't
didn't
remember
want
what
to
voice I
be?
gave them, so I'm just gonna get them a random.
Just gonna roll the dice.
We escaped when they invaded the city.
Ah, okay. So they didn't even offer you to join the queue, they just
Well, they sort of made their way up into the main building of the city, and then they sort of killed some people, and then they said they now take over, and everyone's gonna be well. They referred to everyone as the Kibathari.
yes, yes, children of the queue. But they didn't actually offer you. I can't quite remember it right now. Is it? I never look at it. They didn't offer you. I'm trying to think of the word even in English. Conversion. There we go.
Well, we could have left before they could do that.
Hmm.
They were closing the gates off and sealing everyone inside.
It's not always what. They might not have closed the doors for that reason. Did they give any reason why they needed to take the city?
I mean, if you tried talking to Canary.
Yeah. They are
Point
stubborn,
taken.
I'll agree.
Point taken.
No, every single time they've either wanted to die or wanted to kill us. I want to know why they're moving south all of a sudden. I don't know if it's like maybe a thing they've just noticed that the south's weak, or and they're taking advantage of it, or do they think that the south has mangled the darkspawn threat to a point where they're like, oh, we're gonna have to intervene on this, and it's also a conquest at the same time.
You probably know more than I do on this, and maybe have an answer. But like, are the Canary the types to sort of give written missives and sort of have plans on paper, or is the structure more that the leadership would know what's going on and they just tell everybody else to do what they do?
So the Sten's party were part of the Ben Hasrath, which are like the spy network. And the Quinari have like a network of spies in all countries who look completely normal, have normal jobs, but they provide information towards the Quinari and Saharon. I think it's Parvolan even, and Parvolan, which is the home nation. And usually the leadership will, if they have a question about it, they will send like a Sten party to go and answer that question. So that's how they kind of gain their information. They kind of send out people with specific questions, and then that group provide all that experience, like their individual experience of like answering that question. So they have like a multi-angled view.
I'm just thinking in terms of like, if we want to get information, would there be like a leadership that we could infiltrate? Well, not necessarily the leadership themselves, but get into one of their offices or something and have a chance.
Yeah, so we would probably be best try to find an Arashok, which is the guy that was in Kirkwall. So he's like the leader of like a battalion of Kunari. And then they'd probably maybe have papers. But they'd also they'd more likely keep the the most secret information to themselves. They wouldn't actually have it written down because it would be easy to lose that information. So they, yes, yeah. And the Quinari are not known for giving up secrets.
Well,
They'd rather die.
I'm just thinking, if we're curious enough to want to know, then we're going to have to go for some sort of infiltration.
Yeah, we'd have to sneak
Potentially.
onto a ship, or
Do any of the ships, does one of them stand out as the flagship, or are they all of the standard kind of like they're all built the same?
There's one that's got slightly more detail to their flags and stuff than the rest.
Sounds hopeful.
Is there a way that we can navigate our boat to be like in the shadow of like the moon kind of thing? So we're dim all. I don't think we have any lights on our boat.
You're basically at open sea, so
We could sneak up to their ship on the cover of darkness. Get some fog going.
Just thinking on how to, like, would we scale the anchor chain, or how would we get on the boat at that point?
I mean, how sneaky are we?
Not very.
Not very. This would be a job. This
Come on,
technically would
Rowan.
be.
Seriously? This would be
Yeah.
perfect.
This would be a perfect mission for
for Ginny.
Junie. We could help just create the conditions for it, and then hope that she comes back next week. Get the rolls in for the perfect like setting for it, maybe. But, or do we just blow them to pieces? But then that's they're not doing us any harm right now.
No, but then if they do go further south, then we could be heading a problem off. But then if they're going to go south, they're going to meet the Darkspawn. That divides Darkspawn forces. That could be a good thing for us. It's a difficult question. Because I'm thinking of like ways that we could take these boats down, where like if we could get up next to them, then Wraith and Ruth could easily start just like applying cold and freeze to the bottom of the ship, like touch the bottom of the bow or whatever, and just make it very brittle, so that when it thaws out, it's going to fall to pieces basically, and those ships will slowly suffer. Now that would be maybe a sly way of doing it, but it's
wouldn't
where
really.
the boat could get in quick and out quick enough.
Could also just cripple them by,
Crippling them.
yeah, by like puncturing small holes in the hull. And so by the time they get to where they're headed, it's too late for them to really do anything. So they're constantly the holes are too small for them to. Because you could do that with like with ice. It could just slightly puncture the holes between like the cork and things.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like along the bottom. Or just below the waterline, even.
I mean, it sounds very much like we're stuck on the idea, at least, of getting in closer, and maybe we should just get in closer, see if we can hear anything or see anything.
Yeah, let's do that then.
And then, yeah, play it by ear from there and just see what happens.
Get some more information.
Yeah. We'll do that then. Let's point the boat towards the mass of other boats then, and sort of try and slip into the closest one, like up alongside it.
Okay. So it is quite dark at the moment. So you do slip up next to the big. Are you going next to the biggest boat, one with the different bits in the flags, or are you going to the smaller one?
I think whichever one would be first on our route would probably be the sensible thing. Just sort of maybe we can pass by and head towards the bigger one from there.
Okay.
Try and slip between the boats.
Is there one that's maybe loudest? Because the noise will cover our approach.
You don't
Loudest.
hear much. Considering it's relatively dark, you don't hear much noise.
Okay. Then, yeah, it would probably just be the closest one that we can get to then.
Okay. So you pull up alongside this gigantic boat. As you are sailing past, you're almost eye line with the cannon sort of doors.
Ooh.
Oh.
Just gonna duck underneath one because I'm like, that's not a nice injury to have.
Hmm.
So you make your way along. Again, there doesn't seem to be any sign of life on this ship at the moment. As you sail towards the bigger ship and continue around the edge, you see a single light on, and as you get closer, you hear voices. Do you want to just listen in, or do you want to?
Yes, we'll just listen in for now.
Yeah, I think we'll all just be looking at each other with fingers up to our lips.
Yep.
Shh.
All right. So as you get closer, you hear the sound of a very sort of what you'd probably know as a sort of Kirkwall accent, being very thick, going like, "Look, you see, my people, they're just quite happy to be here. You know, they've come willingly. You know, you can just let us off here, and we'll be fine." No. They are to be taken to Parvolin, where they will be organized properly. Now, come on, I mean, you gotta give us a little bit here. I mean, we came willingly. You gotta let some of us off. How about me? I just get off here. That'd be fine, yeah? No. Return to your quarters. Be thankful we gave you that. Ah, come on. I mean, come on. You gotta have a little bit of negotiation. You can't just, put us all on a ship and not take us anywhere. What do you want to do?
I don't know what's going on. I don't understand.
Sounds like the people have been
Press gang?
they've been evacuated, but the Quinari are intent on taking them to Parvolin, which is their home state, and not anywhere else. So in my head, that means that they're going back to Quinari lands to be re-educated and absorbed. Yeah, it's as awful as it sounds, and be reabsorbed into the Quinari citizenship kind of thing. Re-education sounds exactly how bad it is. The Quinari have potions and use drugs to help brainwash people, and
Good.
yeah they do it to Isabella in the comics after Kirkwall, because Isabella stupidly basically steals their Bible, and that's why the Quinari are in Kirkwall at the start of the game, because they're looking for their Bible because she stole it, and part of her punishment was to be re-educated when they finally caught her in the comics.
Yikes.
Mm.
well, back in the moment, I think Wraith is going to quietly whisper, potential allies?
Ruth's gonna nod and maybe like, victims, I think. True.
Is the indication that the Canarias left the proximity of that conversation they were having?
No, you as you're sort of listening, you look through at the sort of one sort of window that has a small sort of flicker of light coming from it, and suddenly you just see this dwarfish face just appear in it, going, "Well, you know, I gotta." It just looks at you and looks very confused for a second. And you go, "Oh, you're totally right. I just need to go get some air. I'll be fine. Yeah. And you hear the sound of very quick moving feet.
Oh, you're like, shit, we've been spotted. He's gonna jump on our boat. He's gonna jump on our boat.
Oh, I really hope they are allies. You didn't tell the Canary about us at least. Hopefully he's just coming out here to talk.
Yeah. I just we'll just continue to sail by to the next boat. See what happens.
About
Like, do not
2-3 minutes later, you just hear this like, I know you wonderful Canary friends have been just very hospitable host, but I've taken your offer of just jumping in the sea. I'll see yous all in the next life. And then you just see this dwarf leap off the top of the ship and land with a thud on your ship.
Ruth's gonna like dunk his hand in the water and just like pretend to splash and just glare at this dwarf so hard. He's just like, you motherfucker. Just, like, soak his hand.
Well, that was a bad situation.
Shut your mouth. Like, dude.
Let's get Manny to steer us off a little bit further away from the boat so we can have a word with the guy.
Yeah.
As you
speed paddle.
Yep. As you sort of speed paddle, the dwarf climbs up the top of the cart and sits down next to Manny and goes, "So, I guess this is not going to Parvalin, so I'm happy here. What's going on?"
Going on is that we're trying not to get ourselves fucking killed.
Oh, they won't kill you. They'll just take you to Parvalin.
Why?
Well, that's what they do. They took over Kirkwall. They put us all on ships. They take us to Parvalin.
And so why are they? Is there any real reason why they're heading south then?
Oh, they've taken everything else there, so I thought Kirkwall was the next best thing. So yeah, I was, I don't have a cat in my face. I was one they took from Kirkwall, so, it's a better place, Suggestions wherever we go, it's better than where I was gonna end up, so it's fine.
But we're on a very dangerous mission, us. I don't want to stick around with us for very long. I lost my hand a few days ago.
Which Grey Wardens?
I'd rather lose a hand than my head.
You haven't met any Grey Wardens on your travels, then?
Not that I'm aware, no. They all kind of disappeared south when Ferelden got attacked.
Well, most of them gathered in Olay, and we came from Olay, but we've been cut off from our leadership. We're a little lost at the moment of where to go.
Oh, well, that's totally fine. We could just drift around for a while. I don't mind.
Veering dangerously closely to the fourth wall there, pup. I'm just saying.
Do you not have any concern for other people left on those ships?
Well, as my life experience has told me, if they're happy just accepting their fate, then why bother them?
He's not wrong.
That's a bit of a utilitarian approach, but I suppose I can appreciate it.
I mean, it
Little
took 3
heartless.
ships to evacuate all the Kirkwall onto it, so it's not gonna be anything small.
Well, we were trying to gather information at the very least of exactly what the Canary are doing here, but it seems you're no help on that front at all.
They're invading, ain't they?
But I'm assuming that means Antiva has fallen as well, given that they've swept down. That's not a good idea. That's not a good thing.
Well, I mean, they might have done. I know that there was news reached Kirkwall that there was several royal family in Antiva that had been removed, shall we say.
Well, that definitely doesn't bode well.
I'm sure it's fine. It's Antivan politics. It'll make sense at some point.
I mean, I don't know. I think they've only once killed the royal family. But then they brought it back because it was easier. For some reason, I don't know. As you say, Antivan politics is strange.
Yeah.
But,
It's often easier when there's a king and some hobnobs to knob you around.
I mean, it at least makes them look presentable. They're assassins. They look in the shadows. They'd rather stab you in the back than let you have an accident.
Well, either which way, I'm here now, and wherever you guys are going, I'm happy going with you.
So what's your story? What's your name, even?
My name? I'm, let's go with Valerian. I've always liked that name. Yeah, Valerian.
I was just gonna look at him and be like, that's an elvish name, dude.
Yeah.
He's just looking at him and like, you're a fucking dwarf. And you've got an elvish name. What?
I mean, as I said, it's always got a nice sound to it. I've always liked it.
So, and what do you do? Merchant?
Well,
Vagabond? What?
I'm just one of those wonderful people that just make deals happen.
Ah, you're a businessman.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, yeah. Let's
Right.
say I'm a humble businessman. Yeah, that'll do, yeah. Valerian the humble businessman. Yep. Good to me.
It's just like squinting at him, just being like, yes, John. Sure, John. The sure John gif is just coming up going, mm-hmm. I'm just gonna look at Wraith and be like, do we really need a businessman? Have we any use for one?
I can't say that I really see his skill set fitting in around here.
I mean, I could get you all better deals. I mean, someone's in charge of you a lot, right? So maybe I could talk to them, get a better deal for what you're doing. Yeah, that'd be easy enough to do. Yeah.
We've been wandering around for nearly 2 weeks looking for someone, and you think you can just find someone just like that?
Oh, no problem. That's what I do. I mean, you. He points at me and he goes, "You look like a wonderful young gentleman. Have you thought about your pension?" Well, I don't know what one of them is.
Annie, don't be drawn into anything this man says. He's going to steal all your money.
A pension is when you can't work no more due to age or crippling injury. You're taken care of, if you know what I mean. Do you mean taken care of as in... No, of course not. I mean, if you want it to be quick, we could always put that in as a clause. It's not a problem. But
Problem
I think
is-
you should learn about having to not work in your twilight years. But you just donate to me a simple couple of coin. I could make sure you have a
I'm
wonderful
gonna
pension.
pop this dwarf over the head with the butt of my halberd and say, "What are you talking about? What? Not working no more?"
You hear him sort of very, It says when he goes, I mean, if you want a better deal, there's better ways to do it than violence.
Ruth's gonna like rein his foot back and be like,
If you don't point us in the direction of possibly where we might find a Grey Warden, I am going to kick you off this boat.
He did say he was happy jumping into the water. He just so happened to accidentally fall on our boat.
Very,
Mm.
very
Assist
true.
him in the direction of the water.
Yeah.
Thinking that is.
Now, there's no reason to be.
I'm gonna count to 5.
That's good for you. That's a skill most people
One.
feel that they just don't have.
2. 3.
I've always found it's better to count down
4.
from 5 because otherwise you can
wait,
keep on
wait a
counting.
minute. What did you want me to do? A Grey Warden, yeah, Grey Warden, Grey Warden. Well,
4.5.
Grey Wardens could be found everywhere, you know. Maybe we can just start one of them. What's
4
it
and
called?
3/4.
How about we
There's
start
your
a
raise
blight,
it
then
back.
we'd get a Grey Warden to turn up.
How do you get a Grey Warden to turn up?
You start a blight, don't you? Or at least you. How about we just tell people there's a blight, and then we can get a Grey Warden showing up?
There is a blight, you fool.
There is. Ruth's just gonna kick him.
No, that's just simple talk from the south. There's no actual blight going on. If there was, the whole country would be in uproar.
Oh, 21.
Oh! well, in that case, that's a very good idea. You know what? I think, what was your name again? Valerian.
Valerian,
That was it.
yeah.
Valerian's had an excellent idea because there's all this talk about Ferelden falling to the Blight, which is clearly not the case. Why don't we go there? Because there's bound to be a few Grey Wardens wandering that way. Tell you what, you can lead the way, Mr. Valerian.
Oh, but we're sailing already to the north. We shouldn't turn round. I mean, there's a lot. The south is not very pretty. It's not picturesque this time of year. I mean, look at the north. The north's a wonderful place.
Oh, and if you're so keen on getting us there, wait, are we still on the boat?
We're still in the boat.
Yes.
If you're so keen on getting us there, make yourself useful and start rowing. My arms are getting sore.
Yeah. I'll start rowing. Yeah, and he just picks up a sort of lengthy piece
gonna
of
give
wood
him
and just
the
very
oar that I
lightly
was
starts
using.
like trickling in the water.
You know, the river flows southwards, so if you don't pick up the pace, we're going to end up in Ferelden whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah. I'll get on to that. Yeah.
Ruth's gonna sit behind him and just kick him every now and again if he starts slowing down.
Wraith is going to observe this happening and turn to Ruth and kind of lean in and quietly whisper, I'm a bit confused about where we're going at this point. We're not going back to Ferelden, are we?
No, we're going round in a circle until we decide.
Okay.
Because I reckon Manny was on one side and I was probably on the other side, rowing. And now Manny's still going, but there's the dwarf who can't paddle for crap on the other
Yeah.
side. So we're just
So we're literally just going round in a circle until we decide.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we're still in amongst these boats.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You're
Not
sort
that
of
close.
drifted away from the boats, but you're still drifting the direction you were going.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an idea to maybe try and land
Near Kirk.
and have a look around?
Oh, you're well
Yeah.
past Kirkwall at this stage.
Yeah, further along the coastline by this point.
Oh, okay.
So we're heading up towards Antiva and the bay, because Ravine sticks out so there's like a bay.
Like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I suppose if we follow the coast enough, we're bound to find indication of other like fishing villages at the very least, or maybe something a bit more built up. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
because eventually we would sail into like Antivan waters, because Antiva's like would be the next country along from the marches and Kirkwall and stuff. So we would reach Antiva city eventually, but if the Quinari are coming down south, it kind of makes me a bit worried that we're just going deeper into Quinari territory.
mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, and if we get captured, then that just means we're kind of screwed at that point.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen if, like, we would have no idea because they could like take us back. They could take us back and brainwash us for all we know.
Let's avoid that.
Or they could just straight up kill us on sight. So
Have at any point, I haven't, but have you two, and I guess there's no point asking Junie because she won't remember, have you two at any point seen maps detailing where temporary or permanent Grey Warden installations are?
no.
No, not. I don't think we kind of explicitly covered anything like that.
No.
Whether anything like that would be covered in training, I don't know. But
No, it would.
We didn't get training.
We didn't really get training, so we
Yeah.
would probably know. I think the only person that would have known would have been Anna.
Anna might have known.
Anna might have known. The other idea I maybe had was maybe we go back to Ferelden. Maybe we actually go to Denerim. See what Denerim being the capital of Ferelden, where
capital, I take it.
yeah, which was where the battle happened, but the Grey Wardens failed to kill the archdemon.
Hmm.
And then we're pushed back to Orlais. Because we don't know where the like horde is either.
Probably all the way roaming around Ferelden still.
Well, if they're like if they're battling against Orlais in the because the Darkspawn has now, because remember we avoided the Darkspawn in Orlais before we got to Ferelden. I don't know. I think maybe it's either we go back to Orlais, but then we're going to have to go through the Quinari net to get there, or we go back to Ferelden and try and get to Orlais back the way we came, or we go further north towards Antiva.
Those are
and
both
just take our
really
chances.
bad options.
Yeah, every option is a bad option.
Do we go towards a darkspawn infested hellhole with an active volcano?
Yep.
Oops. Do we go to Orlais through a bunch of Canary
Or into the unknown.
or into Antiva, where it sounds like a whole lot of shit's going on? And judging from the fact that it's further north, Canary are probably there too.
I think our kind of role as Grey Wardens would have us beholden to maybe get back to in some way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's the last place all of the Grey Warden installations
Mm-hmm.
that we've visited so far have been in Orlais in various
Yeah.
places.
So maybe instead of going by boat, we land near Kirkwall and travel to Orlais over land. And that way we avoid going through the Quinari nets again and possibly dying and drowning. We've got the cart, so we can make time on the road and maybe take the back roads and avoid Quinari if there's still Quinari about.
Mm-hmm.
And then that means we're still heading in the right direction.
Yep, I think
And we can report back about what's happening in the north once we find somebody. Going, hey, there's a Quinari force heading this way, so we need to deal with that.
Do Grey Wardens have much beef with the Canary?
No, they're not really. They're more of an organization. They're not really. They have no ties to any country. They just have like embassies and like headquarters.
Like, if a Canary warband came across the hill and encountered a Grey Warden scouting party, would they fight? Would they ignore each other, or would they say, "Hi, how are you? Okay, we're going now"?
Unless they were like involved in what either one was doing, like if there was some sort, if they were interfering in like Grey Warden business, like Darkspawn business, or vice versa, that's the only reason they would have to have conflict. Because in the games, Sten reports to the Kunari that the Grey Wardens they've been told, they know that Grey Wardens are supposed to be really great warriors fighting against a foe, but Kunari at that point had never seen Darkspawn because Darkspawn aren't that far north. So they'd never seen Darkspawn, so they didn't understand what Darkspawn were. Now they kind of do. They've had interactions with them now in the games later on, and in this world. So they are aware of them now. So they understand that the Grey Wardens are the only people that can really help this blight effectively.
Okay.
I love Sten. Sten was a great character.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking about our character here, but in theory, Yevon, was it?
Yep.
It's been so
Yevon.
long. It's been so
Yes, our commander.
long. He said, "Get him out of here," referring to
Alistair.
Ralph.
Robin.
Yeah.
Robin, Alistair,
Whatever his bloody name is. You didn't say take him away permanently. So now that it's been like, a month, 2 months, maybe worth going back. Where is Alistair anyway?
He's under the tub, I think.
Yeah, pretty much permanently.
Pretty much permanently. I'm sure we've probably put him under like some illusion spell so that he's awake and stuff when he wants to be, and he's like in some illusion under the tub.
He's in the fade.
That might not be a good thing.
Yeah, that might not be a good thing either. Yeah, I think probably the best compromise is
Go
landing
back to Yevon.
and try and head back to Yevon over land.
Okay. So, Manny looks at you and goes, so where do you want me to land then?
Somewhere on the
You
right
want a next port, or
the
you want me
left
to just
bank?
try and find a bit of land to land in?
I think a little bit of land's probably the best way, because then we can kind of hide the boat.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you continue along. As the morning sort of comes, your dwarven friend goes, "Oh well, I think we need to stop and have breakfast and decide where we're going now. I mean, that'll be good for everyone, yeah." I mean, you're from Orlais, aren't you? I mean, you know the importance of breakfast.
I'm just gonna look at him and just be like, "We're rationing our
have any-
stuff."
Do you have any food on you? It's a bring your own breakfast.
He sort of looks down and looks back and goes, "Oh, come on, you can't let a gentleman starve."
Well, if we sacrifice our food, we'll starve. There may be
Right.
some hunting or
Go find us-
forage nearby.
If you could bring us back some raw food, we'll cook it for you. How about that? Division of labor. You go steal something,
He
and we'll
turns
cook
to
it.
Manny and he sort of puts his hand in his
Down
pocket and
your
pulls out a very shiny gold coin and goes, "I mean, would the gentleman assist me?" And he just flicks it through his knuckles. And finding this some food, I might make it worth his while.
Manny, I'll give you 2 gold if you don't even acknowledge him for the next day.
2. Well, at this point he puts his hand in his pockets and takes out 3 or 4 more gold. He seems to have them from a sort of small pocket. He goes, "Well, I mean, there's a going rate here, and as a hungry person, I understand. You should listen to the call of the small coinage."
Manny, need I remind you that Wraith and I and William over there have saved your life a number of occasions, and I don't mean to bring it up at all for the sake of competition or anything, but this person is new. We don't really know his character.
Yeah, we do. He's a swindler.
Yeah, but Manny's a simpleton. Manny,
Oh.
don't trust him.
Well, I've been told not to trust you. Oh, but we're friends, aren't we? I mean, I'm Valerian, you're,
I'm gonna grab the dwarf by the scruff of the neck and say, "Go and go and catch a rabbit or a fish or something, and we'll feed you when you get back."
He
It's
just,
peace
he
and
just
quiet.
looks at the sea around and goes, where the fuck am I gonna find a rabbit here?
I thought we'd
Oh,
landed,
water
sorry.
rabbits here, that's a great idea. Great idea. That's why you're all starving.
Plenty of fish in the sea, buddy. You want me to introduce you?
Oh, let's not get hasty.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I assume we're probably going to rest at the bank, have some food, and then
Alright.
get the cart off and head south, I think.
You pull into the bank, and as you start unloading the cart, you hear. You sort of look at it and you see just in the peripheral vision the sight of these very large canary boats just drifting towards you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no. Hide the cart, hide the boat. Thorned roots, everything.
Solid
I
roads,
mean,
everything.
maybe we should jump on the cart and just start making distance as fast as we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, if we're
Get
if we're
Judy to
like
do
already
cart
on
horse.
the. Yeah.
Do we still
get
have
Judy
the undead horse as well? Or...
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So we have 2 horsepower.
So you pull the cart out of the immediate eye line of the river, of the sort of coast of the sea, and you see these 3 massive canary boats just slowly sail past on their
Are
way
they
further
heading
north.
south? Oh, north. They're going north.
Mhm.
Okay.
As long as it's sailing
Oh.
past us, I don't care.
Yeah. Okay. Back roads is just back to the south.
All right.
We're gonna avoid all the main roads.
Yep.
So you see as you come to the road, you see a massive sign for what says Markham.
Where's that?
Markham is in the Free Marches. I'm not sure where exactly though. It's the farmland capital though. Is there another place marked for the opposite direction, or is it just Markham?
No, it's just Markham.
Okay. I don't know. I'm assuming we're just wanting to head south, so we'll probably just take the south leading path.
The south leading path
Yeah.
leads. It's a very broken dirt road, but it does seem to lead away from this sign.
Flip a coin.
I guess.
Yep, I haven't got any ideas.
Yeah, we'll just flip a coin then. I'll just roll it. Or do we have flip a coin? I don't know.
You can flip a coin if
Good
you want.
question.
Roll a
let's see.
D2.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
No, I can only do a table flip apparently. D dot D20 even dot D2. What does it say? 2. So
You didn't decide what it was
Oh,
for,
yeah.
so
I know. Fuck.
I mean, if you could just go heads or tails, then one will be heads, 2 are tails.
Okay, heads. It is Markham. Tails. It is not. So I'll do a D2 again. And 2 will be tails.
Yep.
Someone remember that.
okay.
Okay, so it's heads.
Heads.
So
So you make your way along this winding path to the north, and eventually you come to what looks like quite a large city. But as you get to the main entrance, the door seems just to be sort of hanging off, quite almost broken.
That's
You look
bad.
inside; it is completely deserted inside.
Presumably the Canary have been here.
yeah, is there like any indication that of like a siege, like being in like people fleeing and stuff, or is it just? Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's,
there
they've
are many
definitely like
signs
abandoned.
that there have been many footprints running out the front, this sort of large front gate.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm hesitant to go into the city.
Mm-hmm.
I think we maybe leave the cart behind, and then if we want to investigate, we go in ourselves and then go around.
Hmm.
But
At this point, the dwarf just goes, "Is there anybody here?"
oh my god!
And then after a couple of seconds of echoing silence, he just turns to you and goes, "Looks like everyone's away. Let's get out. Let's go somewhere else."
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
No, you're not. I'm
kill
gonna
him.
kill him.
I'm
No,
gonna
you're not.
kill
That's
him.
my job. I want to do that.
At this point,
Aye,
you hear
aye.
you hear a very faint psst, and you look over at the sound of it, and there seems to be a door, like a tiny bit open, with a figure inside, sort of beckoning you towards them.
You know what? I'm gonna grab everybody but the dwarf and go with it. Just
Alright.
leave the dwarf to water.
All right, the dwarf's kind of wandering back to the cart as you all kind of go towards this beckoning figure. As you get close, it seems to be a sort of middle-aged human who
All right.
goes, "Are you from the rescue force?"
What rescue force?
Well, all the people that escaped, they said they would go and get help.
No,
Got
I'm
bad
afraid.
news for you, but
But if you're not from the rescue force, then where are you from?
Ferelden.
He
Nah.
just, he just kind of,
Reese from the Grey Wardens. I'm a town guard, and Loudy McLoudmouth over there is someone we just picked up.
he sort of looks behind at the dwarf and then looks back at you and goes, "So, you're not help then?"
We can try, but
He
not
sort of
specifically help. No.
Opens the door and puts his head right out and looks around and goes, "Are the Canaries still here?"
Not right now. If you
We
want to
have
leave, that's probably the best time.
I'd get what you can and leave.
I can't
Make
leave. My
just-
wife's still sick.
Yeah, you know how to stitch things
Yeah.
together. You go see.
Let me. Yeah, I'll go have a look. Show me to your wife, sir.
He gets a slightly strange look in his face, but then opens the door and lets you inside.
I'm just gonna go in.
As you walk inside, you see a quite obvious dead woman lying on a slab. And he walks up and he just strokes her head and goes, "It's fine, she'll be better soon. Then we can leave."
I have some very bad news for you, sir. Your wife has departed.
What? No, she just needs to sleep all the time.
I'm afraid there's no heartbeat, my friend. The best we can do is prepare a nice place for her.
He just sort of looks up at you with a very tearful look in his eye and goes, No, they're not taking her from me. She's fine."
So do we? Faculty meeting.
Faculty
Do we
meeting,
convene-
okay.
Do we convince him that she's dead? Do we force him to come along, or do we leave him?
I think a compassionate approach would be my preference here. There's no need to break this man and drag him away, but he really does need to be shaken out of his delusion, I think.
I think if we help set her to rest, it might do him some good. But I think ultimately leaving might be his decision. If he doesn't wish to leave, I don't think we should force.
Alright.
But I do think we should help him plant his wife.
Seems reasonable. Alright then, tell you what, mate. You got anything to drink around here? Let's go have a sit down.
To drink? Yeah, of course. Yeah, he hands you a bottle of Artivan wine.
And ooh, fancy. Alright, come on, you. And take him by the arm to the somewhere where there's some seats that isn't looking at his dead wife. And so we're gonna share the bottle.
Wraith, I'll let you handle the body. I'll go prepare the soil.
Yes, I'll examine and then prepare.
Okay. So
Digging a hole, digging a hole.
Get the dwarf to dig the hole.
What is William trying to
You think
find
that
out?
dwarf is gonna dig a hole?
That's racist. I don't know. I'm
Racist to
just.
expect him to be digging a hole.
I'd like to ask about when the Canary came, what happened when they came, what they did,
Oh,
where everyone else went, that sort of thing. Just general information.
they arrived. They went to the sort of head of the village, and they slaughtered him. Then they sort of blocked all the exits from the city, and they started loading people onto boats.
Any idea where the boats are headed?
Well, they said, I do remember them shouting that if you don't behave, you'll go to the Vidalthlox, but I don't know where that is. I've never heard of that place.
Me neither. I'll try and remember that so I can mention it to Ruth later. How long has your wife been sick?
Oh, since she got shot by the arrow.
Where'd she get shot?
Oh, one of the Canaries shot her while she was trying to leave. I pulled her back inside. I pulled the arrow out because you don't want that in you.
No. How long has she been asleep?
Oh, she's been sleeping now for about 14 days. It's fine. She'll wake up any day now.
What makes you think that?
Well, because she just needs to sleep it off. What else can you do for an arrow wound?
Bandage?
Oh, well, we don't have any of them.
Fair enough. I think you're not going to want to hear this. But people can't sleep for 14 days.
Oh,
What?
my eldest could. He could no problem, work-shy bastard.
At some point, you need to drink. You need to eat.
Oh, well, I've got the wine. I've been trying to pour it in her throat, try and, make her better.
And when was she last breathing?
Oh, it's been a while. But, some people sleep soundly.
Not without breathing, though.
Well, it's just a formality.
No, it's not. Your wife's dead.
He just sort of stares at you with a very sadness in his eyes.
Pass the ball back to him.
He
Drink some.
just stares and goes, I'm kept awake all night by that sound of them building.
Sorry, say again?
I'm kept awake all night by the sound of them building. Those bastards are building stuff. And he sort of points, and you just see through a window there's a sort of construction site in the sort of edge of the town towards the basically where the sea would be. They're building stuff. They keep me awake all night.
You're not leaving, are you?
Well, where can I go? What till my wife gets up?
Your wife's dead.
Well,
She's not getting up. She won't get up.
at this point, Wraith basically has noticed the massive like arrow wound in her chest. That if she wasn't dead immediately, she wouldn't have lasted more than a couple of minutes.
Is it fair to say that maybe there's also some traces of the wine that he's been trying to ply this body with?
Yes, the sort of mouth and throat area seems to be like almost pulled with wine.
I think Wraith is just quietly shaking his head and thinking about like the wish for peasants to have a little bit more knowledge about natural processes, that you wouldn't have to deal with things like this ever. But yeah, he's going to clean her up and do what he can and get the body ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming there's nothing more to the wound in terms of like this is just a standard arrow wound.
It looks like she was shot from the back to the front, and the arrow sort of pierced right through her chest.
Okay.
Ouch.
Well, just
When you examine the wound, there's traces of like small fletching marks, as in some of the sort of feathers from the fletching had been left as the arrow's been pulled through the front.
oof. Well, yeah, I'll get that done and then kind of wait with the body for William to come back, hopefully with a more rational man with him.
Alright.
Alright.
After about another 20 or so minutes, a sort of quite sober William, but a very drunk man sort of staggering towards you, going, "So she's dead then?"
Yeah.
Yes. And, well, she's ready now. Are you ready to say goodbye?
Well, you know, we've shared many intimate nights, my love, but I guess you're going now. I'm gonna go kill those canary bastards.
Yeah, sure.
And he picks
Sure
up
you are.
he picks up a broom and starts staggering out the door.
I'm gonna carefully grab him and guide him upstairs and say, yeah, but first, you gotta go to sleep first. It's very important to sleep before you fight Canary. That's their weak spot. So you go upstairs and you're gonna sleep. And then tomorrow morning, you're gonna fight them.
Damn right I will. And about a couple of minutes later, you just hear like deep snoring coming from upstairs.
He's gonna be a real mess when he wakes up.
So what do you want to do now? Now
Inter the
you've
body.
buried this woman.
I'm imagining that Ruth can see this construction when he's outside digging the hole, so he's just been like, "What the fuck is that? What is that? Are you seeing this? Do you see this?"
It's very much starts on the. I can never remember which way is east and west with this. I think it's very much on the sort of west side, and it seems that she's closest to close to the sea, and it looks like some sort of dome-like structure.
Okay.
Curious.
No idea. what that could be. But it warrants further investigation.
Agreed.
All right. So
Let's investigate then.
you walk towards this this structure. As you get close, you see a bunch of humans and elves just sort of building this gigantic
Oh shit,
structure.
still people here?
Oh, there's people. Okay.
You can hear how loud the building is when you get quite close to it.
Damn,
It seems like they wouldn't be able to hear anything outside of it. Even the shout of the dwarf earlier wouldn't be loud enough to over the sound of all the building that they're doing.
Okay.
All the hammering. As you get close, one of the elves looks up and goes, "Oh, are you the takeover squad?"
What, just 4 of us? Yeah, right.
Well,
Nah.
it's
We're
more
here
than
for
we've been sent
inspection.
to recently.
Yeah. That's
No,
interesting.
we're
We're inspection.
yeah.
Just sort of nudge Ruth with the butt of my halberd. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just I'm just the hired muscle. These 2 are the sensible ones.
I'm here to make sure you're all fit and healthy and still able to work. And my colleague here is checking on the where you're working to
Legal.
our specifications and stuff.
The legal aspect of it.
Indeed. Yes, make sure everything's up to code.
Yeah. So if you want to get the workforce organized, so I can give you an examination, make sure you're all.
The elf sort of looks at you a bit suspiciously and goes, "So, are you testing in the Kumlat or?"
Oh no, that's a separate thing. I'm health.
Health.
Yes.
Health.
Health.
We
Right.
need to make sure you are fit and healthy to be working on this project, and if you are not, you are to be removed from the premises.
Right. Okay. Well, you're not as overbearing as the usual inspectors.
We have changed our approach recently. We seem to believe, or rather, our bosses seem to believe, at our suggestion, that a more local touch is better for team morale.
Local. So
I don't know either, mate. Listen, let's
so
just get
you're-
it over with.
So you're not in Vidathari then?
No, but our bosses are. Let's just get this over with. To be honest, it's a waste of time, but...
The faster you do this, the faster I can return to my actual duties. So, chop chop.
So you're not Vidathari, are you Basilian?
What does any of this mean?
It's the I know some of it. I don't know all of it.
No. My friend, our shock commanded us to do this, so if you wouldn't mind, I would rather not tell him that we have been delayed further by stupid questions.
He sort of nods a little bit, and you see his subconscious hand come up and start rubbing a scar that's quite obvious on the side of his head. And he goes, yeah, no problem, just give me a minute, I just need to get the lads. And
I'll join you.
That's
gonna
fine,
follow
yeah,
him.
come this way, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks up a sort of scaffolding gangplank to where there's lots more of the humans and elves building this gigantic structure. And he just leans down to one and goes, have you seen the big chap? Yeah, he's over there. Why? Could you just fetch him for me, please? I've had a small confusing incident. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Roof's
guy-
gonna sign that things are not going good.
This guy
Danger.
rushes off, and a couple of seconds later returns with this massive canary with huge horns.
Oh fuck.
Oh no, what have we done?
Expect full team wipe coming up.
I'm on the scaffolding with the giant canary. I am immediately going to freeze this whole bit in with ice and then run away, and then I want someone to knock it over. Collapse it, please.
Okay, I'll throw a
Run
fireball.
away!
I
Run
suppose.
away!
Yeah, well, I'll join you in running and throw a fireball to try and blast it to pieces afterwards.
Okay. Right. Let's see if my spell worked first. 11. Oh.
6.
You cast some freeze on the thing. All the fireball does is melt the frost.
Oh.
I am like sliding down the scaffolding ladders quickly.
As you're sliding down, the elf you were talking to seems to be talking to the canary. The canary looks towards the rest of you, and he pulls out a small, what looks like a, not kind of trumpet, but a small like
Oh no.
some kind of thing, and blows on it. And there's a very deep sound. What do you want to do?
No.
Keep running. Run to the car.
You are under arrest. No.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we throw some ice and stuff behind us to cause inconvenience and just leg it.
Okay. So you
routes,
sprint
perhaps?
out of the city. You jump back in the car, and you
And
fly
we've
off
left
as
the dwarf
fast as you
behind
can.
us.
The dwarf sitting in the car going, "What's going on? What's all this?"
Damn it!
The
Damn
dwarf,
it! I thought you would stay there.
the dwarf seems to have been trying to convince Manny that there's better money available somewhere else. So as you sprint away from this thing, you see a gang of Kunari appearing at the doorway, all brandishing quite large weaponry.
I believe the phrase "oh bollocks" apprised.
Well, let us take so many different turns so that we lose them
So as
in
you
the back roads.
as you flee from Markham into the depths of the unknown free marches, we will wind up there for this week.
Cool.
Does anyone have anything they wish to add before we stop?
I think we just have a collective nope when it comes to Quinari. We're just like, nope.
It's because of the dice that we don't have a way of winning. Because there's always like a 1 in 20 chance that we die, and a 50-50 chance that we get bushwhacked. So
They are
why
heavy
bother?
hitters. They
Why
are
bother?
heavy hitters.
Why not just run?
Yeah, we've
The
seen.
only possible way of defeating them is run. I should know. I've accidentally challenged 2 of them and died both times.
Exactly. We've seen one of your characters die to one of these guys, so yeah, not to be messed with.
I mean, Hawk goes toe to toe with one, and if you're a mage, you literally spend some of it running away from the character because you're a mage going up against a very heavy hitting tank that can bull rush you as one of its attacks. So you're just like shit.
That's interesting. Ironic, because normally magic's good against close quarters combatants.
Yeah, not at that
But-
point.
but if
Well,
he's
depending on
got
how you
a-
spec, yeah.
If he's got like a charge attack, then you're kind of boned, aren't you?
Yeah, and it's a very tight arena space.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
So, and there's like 2 pillars that you can like run around. But if you convince him to go 1-to-1, there is a point where you're like, shit, I'm running low on health. I have to run around a bit, let a potion regenerate myself a bit before I launch mine, or your mana needs to regen before you can attack again. It depends how you spec, but yeah, there is a point where you are running away.
All right. Well, On that, if we'll wind up there on that note then. But yes, yes, we will wind up there. Our next streams will be Monday. Should be me and Barry doing Saints Row 4, as long as he's about. Tuesday should be, I believe Tuesday's a everlasting day. So
Yes.
Mr. Greg will be back in the DM chair doing his D&D stories.
Mm-hmm.
After that, to be Spendy Horror. Wednesday should be myself, Tom, and Zeph, and hopefully Meow doing some Green Hell. Thursday will be Indie Horror. Friday will be Ember, I believe it is. We're going to do. And then after that, maybe some Little Company if there's folk up for it. And then next Sunday, more Dark Tide. So that's the streams for the next week.
That's a fun.
We're just gonna wind the stream up there because yeah, there's no one we know on, so we're just gonna call it there. But yes, thank you everyone for watching along. I wish you all the best of the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you all next time. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.